Sir David Attenborough, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's very, very lovely to have you back.
Nice to be here.
We have got so much to talk to you about. We're going to get some questions from our listeners. We're also going to get you to introduce some of the songs, okay?
Okay.
Let's get on with it. Mumford & Sons. What's that one called, Sir David? That's...
The Wolf.
Ah.
I used to be able to do a very good wolf call. I once went to film wolves out in the Arctic with a man who was one of the great world experts of wolves. And he asked me to see if I could do a wolf call and call them. So I have to. I don't.
Please.
Just watch. I'll knock the microphone's head off if I'm like, you go, oh! They really are like that.
That's a very good one.
Not bad.
Can you teach me what's the way? So how do you start? What's the best way to get... Do you imagine you're the wolf?
I don't know. It's a natural challenge, which I mean, very few people have got. Oh! Does that take you straight back to the waste of the Arctic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not bad?
Oh.
That's too musical.
Oh.
Not bad.
Oh. Oh. What a day this is turning out to be. Okay, we have some callers. Last time you were on, we had some great callers on to ask you questions. So we think it's the best thing to do is people are desperate to speak to you. We're going to start with that right now. We have Maisie, who is 8 years old. She's from Wokingham. And Maisie should be on the line now. Do we have Maisie?
Hello.
Hi, Maisie. You are on with Sir David Attenborough.
Hello.
How are you doing, Maisie?
Good.
Good. Well, that's fine. I am too. What's your question?
How do you know so much about the world?
Well, I get a lot of scientists, you see. It's not just me, and I know what it is I'm going to see. By the time I'm talking about it, I've actually been looking at it, and I've been able to, if I don't know what it is myself or I don't know enough about it, I'm able to talk to scientists and think of the various things that I think you would like to know. And if I don't know them, ask them. So when you ask me, I can tell you.
Did you have anything else to say, Maisie?
No.
Is your mum there?
Yeah.
Do you want to put your mum on quickly?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, is that Kate?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Kate. Maisie's being brilliant with Sir David Attenborough. Did she have anything else to say?
I think she would like to know what more she can do to help the plastic problem in our oceans.
They can avoid using it when it's not necessary to use it. We can't live without plastic altogether in this day and age. It's part of our lives. But we don't need to use it if we don't have to. I mean, for example, paper bags are better than plastic bags. And so when you're offered a plastic bag, you can say, I'd rather have a paper bag, or indeed to say no bag at all. I mean, I get letters, and people, if they want to make it look important, they put their letter inside a plastic folder. Now, why?
Yeah.
You know, it's no use. It's just because they make it feel that their letters appear to be more exciting something, but it doesn't really.
That's not a great way to get fan mail to you. No. You're going to put it straight. You're going to get rid of that straight away.
Yes.
That's a great tip for everyone. Great tip for Maisie. If you're going to send any letters to Sir David, don't put it in a plastic bag.
No plastic bags, maybe.
Maisie and Kate, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Time for another song. What have you got for us?
This is Cola by Camelphat.
Wonderful. Let's play it. We'll have some more in a minute.
That's what you're coming for. You don't wanna let you in. You drop it back to the floor. You're asking what's happening. It's getting late now, hey now. Enough of the arguments. She sips a Coca-Cola. She can't tell the difference yet.
That's Cola. Who's it by, Sir David Attenborough?
Camelphat.
Anything about camels?
I know. Yes, they're extremely rude animals.
Are they?
Yes, they spit at you. They produce very copious spit, very, very frothy. And then they shake their heads and this great scum comes flying through the air. They're not very happy with life, by and large, camels, I reckon. They always look so grumpy.
You could say they've got the hump.
Well, rather you said that than me. Yeah.
I must just say, you're very naughty. You pranked me.
Yeah, well, there you are. You set yourself up, don't you? You blokes on the radio. Yeah.
I was invited down to the Natural History Museum a couple of months ago for this new virtual reality project called Hold the World.
Yeah.
Where you can, as the title suggests, hold the world.
4 million krill a day.
I put a virtual reality headset on. I had 2 sort of handsets in each hand.
Gonna give it a spin.
And I was in a really beautiful library in the Natural History Museum. Millions of books and all the species around and everything. And I was guiding myself around this thing, but then there was a virtual reality you in my headset, which was amazing, this whole thing. I did this experience, took the headset off, and you popped up.
There you are. Now then.
Hang on.
I've got questions for you. How many krill in a mouthful?
4 million krill.
Not bad at all. You pass.
Is this the real you? It is the real you.
That was really mean to do a test immediately.
Yeah.
Very, very mean. So people can do this experience through the virtual reality app, and they can have you in the library and you guide them around all these species.
One of the problems of the museum going there is that if you're really interested in something, you really want to get hold of it, don't you? Have a look at it and see how big it is and what it looks like from the other side, and you can't shift it. But in this you can, because in the virtual reality, I take you, say, pull out that drawer, you can then, using those zappers, as you say, take out this object. Let's say it was a fossil, or let's say it was a dragonfly, and you can take it out and you can put it in front of you. Now, you may want to, I will say, because I'm in front of you with the object, I say, why don't you look at the eyes? Because they've got this extraordinary eyesight. And you can then pick it up and look at it closely and enlarge the eye so you can see the structure in the eye. You can turn it round and see how many legs it's got. You look at its wings. So it's real there. I mean, it convinces you, didn't it? I mean,
I was under the sea at one point with a blue whale.
Yeah.
Did you meet the hologram of you? Did you have to do a test where you met the hologram to see if you were convinced of the hologram of you?
No, my hologram was too shy. He wouldn't come.
But also you had to dress exactly the same on the day where you tricked me. And I heard that there were lots of different... That it was quite a difficult thing to get the shirt absolutely right.
I've only got the one blue shirt. We wash it in between days. Well, weeks.
That's fine. So I imagined that your wardrobe at home was just a big one with the same shirt. But
yeah, I'm afraid you're right.
Is that right?
Yes, there's a well-known wholesale store that supplies them in bulk.
Interesting. That's a very lucky tailor. Okay, time now for another song. So, David, what have you got for us?
Is Panda by Desiigner.
Panda. I got broads in Atlanta, twisted to lean the family. Credit cards and the scammers, hitting the links in the bundle. Legacy, found him. Why is he look like a panda? Going out like a Montana. Honey, on the hands. Legacy, found him. Why is he panda? Package swoop, Danny, selling ball, candy. Man out the macho like Randy. The chopper go out for granted. Then pull up your bandit. Hope you killers understand me.
That is Panda by Desiigner.
On Radio 1. And Sir David Attenborough's here with me. I'd like to host the show every day and just give a fact about all the songs. I think it's great.
Well, pandas, of course, there are a number of pandas. There's little red pandas and there's the big black and white pandas. And the big black and white pandas produce babies that are barely the size of a bean. I mean, they're tiny, tiny little babies, which are extraordinary. And, of course, they eat nothing but bamboo. And bamboo is very, very indigestible. So pandas eat a great deal of it. They get up in the morning, they start eating bamboo, and they eat all the way through the day, occasionally with a bit of a rest for a sort of and then they get back on the bamboo. So it's not a very interesting life being a panda.
It's a strange thing to eat all the time, isn't it?
Well, that's because there was a lot of it,
Yeah.
you see, and it grows very fast. But these days, there's not as much as there was, which is one of the reasons why giant pandas are as rare as they are.
Well, that's Panda by Desiigner on Radio 1 with an added animal fact by Sir David Attenborough. We have Zoe now. Hi, Zoe.
Hi.
Hi, you're on with Sir David Attenborough.
This is so exciting. You're so inspirational, David.
Thank you very much.
I study marine sports science at university, and I'm really passionate about the ocean. And I've been working really hard in my hometown of Bude, raising awareness for that plastic pollution problem that you guys were just talking about.
Yeah.
And the work that you did on Blue Planet really helped spread the word on a national level. So thank you so much for that. And my question to you is just what's the next thing on your agenda in terms of environmental awareness that you want to tackle, because you have such a big influence and it's really helping us spread our message?
Well, I mean, we've only just started the battle with plastic. It's a very important battle, and I think we're going to stay on with that for before I start moving on to something else. What that something else will be, I haven't yet decided.
So you say you're on the ground in Bude, you're on the beach looking at stuff. What's the worst bit of rubbish that you see quite often down there?
So we see loads of what we call microplastics, which are less than 1 centimetre, and tons of these tiny things called nurdles. Some people call them mermaid's tears, but nurdles are basically like a byproduct of plastic, and they tend to kind of fall off ships in the ocean, and they all get washed up, and they're a real problem because fish eat them. And then we obviously harvest the fish, and then it evidently comes into our bodies, which isn't great.
It must be very tough, though, because you clean up a beach after one tide, and then I guess the following day you go back and there's just as much plastic as there was to start with.
Yeah, it's a never-ending job.
It is.
We all love doing it, and we're very lucky to live in such a beautiful place down in Bude, so we love getting out on the beaches and doing some cleaning.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Zoe, thank you so much for your call.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
You're amazing. Have a great day.
Thank you, and you.
Bye.
Bye.
We are ruining this beautiful place that we've landed on.
Yes, because there's so many of us and because we are so clever.
Yeah.
And what we now need to be is extremely wise as well as clever. The two things are not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very clever at inventing all kinds of things. We're not very wise in the way we use them.
Right. We've evolved in a certain way where we can create amazing things, but we don't necessarily think of the consequences of them.
That's right.
Okay, that's fair enough. We have a feature on this show where we sort of debunk myths. It's called Shouldn't Be News. So it's things that listeners will text in and say, for ages I thought that this was the case, and then we kind of go, well, no, obviously not. Someone here said that they thought that rhinos, hippos and elephants were the same animal, but with a different head.
Well, they're right in the sense that they used to be classified together as pachyderms. Pachyderm means fat, tough skin. And they have very thick hide. Elephants have thick hide, rhinos have thick hide, and hippos do too. And so in the early days, before we understood about genetics and one thing or another, they were lumped together as the pachyderms and thought to be related to one another.
Okay, so this person is sort of onto something.
Well, onto something what was, but isn't anymore.
Well, we had an image of just an elephant kind of swapping its head out and going, right, today I shall be the rhino. Like a fancy dress party.
Not bad.
Okay, let's play Arctic Monkeys and then chat some more after that.
This is
BBC
Radio 1.
Out of 5 by the Arctic Monkeys. I can't think why there were only 5 monkeys.
Now, this has been a huge musical quandary for a few years now. Arctic monkeys.
Yes.
Possibility?
Well, yes, there are some monkeys that actually live in the winter. And the one of the most beautiful of them, and the one that endures the greatest cold, I think, is the golden snub-nosed, blue-faced monkey.
Okay.
And it lives in the bamboo forests of northern China, and it's beautiful.
Wonderful. Let's have a chat to Georgie. Hi, Georgie.
Hiya.
Welcome. You're on with Sir David Attenborough.
Wow, thank you.
How are you?
Hi, Sir David.
Hi.
Oh, this is very exciting.
You got a question?
Yes, I do. Just a bit of background about me. I'm a developmental biologist. I work with fruit flies, and you are the single reason why I do science. So it's an honour to talk to you.
You're very kind.
My first question is, do you know how many species are named after you, and do you have a favourite?
Yes.
Well, I'm told it's rude to count when it comes to species named after you, but there is a fossil which they used to be called an ichthyosaur, and they discovered recently that it wasn't really an ichthyosaur. It was so different from all the rest of the ichthyosaurs that they would give it another name altogether. And the name is Attenboroughsaurus. And it so happens that it's actually on the wall in the Natural History Museum. There it is, my name on the label. See, as I go every now and again, I go and I stand underneath it thinking of people will say, oh, look at him, that's it. Then nobody notices. So it's rather upsetting, really.
Surely they do.
No, they don't. Of course they don't.
Georgie, I've just read your notes and I've worked out why you've asked that first question. Tell Sir David about your pet.
My main love in life is my cat called Atty, whose name is short for Attenborough.
Oh, really? Well, You don't call it Atticatosaurus.
I'm sorry, Georgie, Atty's a lovely name. Why did you not call it David Attenborough?
Very good.
You may have to go through a name change.
Well, if Sir David now says to you, Georgie, please change the name of your cat to Sir David Attenborough, will you do it?
Definitely.
Sir David?
Well, that's only on formal occasions.
Georgie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great afternoon. Thanks.
For everything.
Bye.
And you. Bye.
Well, Sir David, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for speaking to
It's a pleasure.
Our wonderful callers and answering our questions, and thanks for pranking me with the virtual reality headsets. It's a really wonderful thing. Hold the world.
Okay.
And it will introduce a new generation of people to the natural world. And we'll see you very soon, hopefully.
Thank you very much. She, like all pop stars, needs to hunt to survive. But there's a problem. The signal is poor, and she hasn't upgraded her handset since 1999. #flipphone.
1.